Yeah, I know. It's been a long time since I uploaded. It's been about 6 months. I've been busy. I've had a fair bit on my plate lately. Work has been interesting. A baker quit, which means it's just me and one other guy, and then the boss who covers a shift here and there. So again, it's 6-day weeks, long hours and all of that nonsense. So it's been a long time. I've been doing some renovating of or re-landscaping the backyard to make the yard look nicer, because it's looked like trash for the last 5 years. I haven't really ever got around to finishing the job, and it seems to have turned out pretty well. Turning this into this. So I just haven't had the time or the energy to put into making videos. The food truck we haven't done a whole lot with because that's another time-consuming thing that we just haven't had time for. But there's been another thing that's occupied my time that I have been recording. Bits and pieces I've recorded, and I have already edited together some of that footage, but it is from 5 months ago, or 5.5 months ago, thereabouts. I'm filming this now on the 15th of September, and the footage is from 5 months ago or so. So I'm filming this now. We'll cut back to that footage, and then we'll come back to now so I can actually finish the video off. I have to apologize. The video footage is shockingly bad quality, but there's nothing I can really do about that now. It's not like I can go and re-film it. The second part of it sounds like I dropped the phone in the toilet. Again, nothing I can do about it. I've already edited that part. I'm sure I repeat myself a million times, but I can't be bothered fixing that. So let's just jump back to 5 months ago, and then we'll come back to now. So it's March the 26th, and Kelsey's waters broke this morning. I was at work, and she rang me around 8:45 in the morning. So I downed tools and I was out of there like a bat out of hell. Left everyone with whatever work had to be done. She called the hospital to say, my waters are broken and whatnot, and they said, okay, no worries, it's you have 4 hours to head down here unless contractions start happening and whatnot. So we're getting our gear ready as you need to. We had bags and stuff ready, but I didn't have my stuff together because it's me, let's face it, I'm not very organized. And then at like 5 to 10 she had a proper contraction, and then like 3 minutes later had another one, and then another and another, and they've just sort of kept happening. So we headed to our local hospital to get her checked out, and after an hour of contractions, not even, she was already at 4 centimeter dilation. Right now I'm tailing a hospital, no I'm not, I'm tailing a ambulance to take us to a better suited hospital, where she can give birth to our baby girl. Right now it is 11:30 or thereabouts in the morning. Yeah, how exciting. Okay, it's been a couple of days. It's now Sunday the 29th of March. A new baby girl has entered our world, which is amazing. It's been a bit of a journey. We can't say it wasn't without its complications. So the rundown was that on Thursday, Kels' waters broke at 8:30, 8:45, somewhere around there. So she rang the hospital, and they said you've got 4 hours to get down to the hospital unless contractions start happening. And by 10 o'clock, so within 45 minutes, her contractions were 2 minutes apart. and we thought we might not make it down to the hospital. So we rang the local hospital and had her checked out, at which point she was at 4 centimetres dilation. I might have already said all this. So they put her in an ambulance. Yes, I did say all this. Went down to the other hospital where she was in labour for 14 hours. It was a long time. In the end, she ended up going in for an emergency C-section, which went perfectly. Within a few minutes of that, basically, we had our little baby girl. She's cute. She's adorable. But there were a couple of times where she stopped breathing. So she ended up down in neonatal unit pretty much straight away. I forget if she had 2 or 3 times where she stopped breathing. But they didn't tell us at the time, but we now know that they had to breathe for her using some little dooflicky. 7 a.m. on Friday morning rolls around, and then since then she didn't have any more episodes. So they kept her in neonatal for 24 hours. Not a single issue. Her SATs dropped a little bit, but they weren't too concerned. So yesterday morning, it was yesterday afternoon, they got their blood results back at 10 a.m. She was discharged from neonatal somewhere around 1, I think. I don't know, it's hard to keep track. So she got to spend a night in the ward with mum rather than being separated into neonatal. I don't know what else. They haven't wanted me there. I've had to go home every night, which sucks. But on the flip side, because I'm not working, I've had a couple of good nights sleep to kind of, I guess, prepare myself for what's to come. Sleep deprivation isn't really anything too new to me, but I think this is going to bring it up to a whole new level. But we'll see. So I'm heading back to the hospital today, right now. It's 8:20 in the morning. Kels and Bubs are going to be discharged at 10 a.m. to come home. And I'm so very excited to bring my baby home. Kels's mum has been staying at our house to take care of the dogs while I'm not there, so that's been wonderful, and she doesn't think that Kels is getting out until at least tomorrow. So I managed to sneak everything out that I needed to get out of the house without her knowing this morning. I'm quite proud of myself for that. And hopefully by lunchtime we'll be home with the baby and Grandma will get a very nice surprise. I suppose for now, that's it. I guess I should just, from here, introduce you to her. So, here she is, my gorgeous little girl. Introducing Michaela Ray Griesbach. Who'd have thought I'd ever see the day? I could really just watch her all day. She is absolutely gorgeous. Hey? Absolutely gorgeous. She's a wriggle pot, that's for sure. Bless you. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Oh, bless you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You are just too cute. Alright. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to start. She came earlier than we expected. Her initial estimated due date was the 12th of April. And then Kels had gestational diabetes, which was fine. She monitored that fairly well through dieting, but she did have to use a very, very small dose once a day of metformin of some sort of blah blah blah. So she was estimated to be due on the 12th of April. And then they thought, you know what, long story short, they were going to induce her on the 6th, the 2nd. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey. Yeah. There you go. Hey, it's not so bad. And then Kelsey's waters broke even earlier, the 26th of March. Yeah, I know. So throughout the entire pregnancy, everything was going really well. This little one was scanning a little bit large. Scanning a little large, but everything was fine. Kelsey's waters broke, where she ended up being in labour for 14 hours, which was rather uncomfortable for Kels, obviously, it's labour. But it was made worse by this wriggle pot turning around and being spine to spine. I forget what all the medical terms are. So Kels was very, very uncomfortable. And eventually this one became distressed. Her heartbeat was all over the place, from like 180 dropping down to 115 or something. I forget all the details because that's classic me. So she ended up having to go in for emergency C-section. And this one was born at 11:38 p.m. on March the 26th. And what was I saying? And then after that, we got back to the ward. The C-section went fine. Everything was good with Kels and all of that. But in the ward, while I was holding this one, she ended up she stopped breathing. And at first I could tell something was off. I didn't pick up on it straight away, but she just stopped moving and all of that. And then she started turning blue, and we were in a really poorly lit room, or dimly lit. And so I wasn't actually sure if she started to change colour or not. So I got the nurse's attention, where they quickly grabbed her, and by the time they'd left the room with her, she was crying again and whatnot. So they brought her back. And, you know, down the track, we often heard the nurses saying, oh, you know, thank goodness that the head nurse, midwife, whoever, noticed. And for the record, I noticed. And I will take full credit for that, thank you. So she ended up going down to neonates. Not NICU, not the intensive care, but down to neonates regardless. Put her in a humi-crib for a little bit, where through the night she stopped breathing, I think another 3 times, and they had to pump her back. So that would be the 27th. But after 7 a.m. there were no more further issues or whatever. But they kept her under obs for another 24 hours. But 0 incident after that, which was fantastic and such a relief. It just took her a little bit of time to feel like, you know, getting all her organs and body kicked into gear and doing what it needs to do. Yeah, and a couple of days after that we got to bring her home. And now I have a daughter. And it's amazing. She's all I think about now. Oh, not a minute goes by when I'm at work and I'm not thinking about this little cute one. We've been very, very fortunate with this one. She is just such a beautiful baby. She doesn't scream, she doesn't yell. She gets a bit cranky when she's hungry, when she needs to poop, when she needs a nappy change. Other than that, she's just so calm, relaxed, We've been very fortunate. She doesn't, we're changing, you know, 7 to 10 nappies a day, which is fine. I'm sleeping just as much as I ever have. I'm very fortunate. Kels looks after me in that way. But a lack of sleep is nothing I'm not used to. But it's totally worth it. I don't have a whole lot to give you. Everything's just great. I couldn't ask for more. She's feeding well, she's healthy. She does have a little bit of jaundice, which we're working on. Doctors aren't at all concerned by that. There's nothing else to say, it's just perfect. Finally have her own family in our house now. I mean, we've always got our fur babies, and they've been really good with her. Curious as ever, but they've been really good. Very, very lucky. We're just so happy to have that little one in our lives. She's such a blessing. And now here we are, 5.5 months later. It's gone pretty quickly. It really has. She has grown so much. And we've been so blessed with this one. She's never grumpy. Well, not really ever grumpy anyway. Until she really needs a nap. Until she needs to eat. She's just such a happy girl. We were worried that she might have some reflux issues and whatnot because both Kels and myself did as babies. Nothing whatsoever. I get very distracted when I'm holding her. She's so beautiful. She's doing well. She's very healthy. She brings us so much happiness. It's probably a bit weird that I'm in the garage for this. But it's my usual filming space, so it's been such a pleasure just watching her grow. It is happening a little bit too fast, but that's the way it is. They grow. Me, don't have a lot to report. She's happy, we're happy, she's healthy. She's everything we could have ever asked for. She's teething at the moment. She's a bit uncomfortable at times, but outside of that, she's perfect. Even with that, she's absolutely perfect. Thanks. I guess that'll be it. I don't think I'll film her too often. This is a good introduction. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how to close off this video, so